Okay, so welcome everybody. This video is going to show you how to book a class on the museum's website. So I'm going to go to the museum's webpage first, and then so this is the main page here. Now the first thing you want to do before you go ahead and book is click on Plan Your Visit, just to double check and make sure that there's no closings coming up. So here's the section right under here under Hours and Directions. You click here for upcoming closings. Make sure you keep in mind, right, the museum is only open from Tuesday to Saturday, and then we only offer classes from Tuesday to Friday, okay? So you can see here there's an upcoming closing event here on March 10th, right? That's highlighted in red. So if you were planning on coming to on the 10th, you're going to have to make an adjustment there. So now I'm going to go over to the education page, and then we will see. Okay, these are all of the education offerings that we have, right? I'm going to focus on our classes, right? Now the first thing I'd like you to know is that there's a minimum of 8 students and a maximum of 40 students per each class, so we have a limited space. And then we have 2 types of classes. We have classes that you can book for yourself that are $300, and then we have classes where we have to request or coordinate a lecture, and those are a little bit more expensive. So I'm going to go on into Book It so we can try to book our class, right? So I'll click on Book It, and then here we are to the these are the self-booking options, right? And so we've got 4 classes that you can book for yourself. There's a Financial Markets 1, Financial Markets 2, Your Money, Your Success, and then Open Outcry, all right? And then next to the name of the class, we kind of have the grade levels here for each of the types of students that might be coming into the museum. And then for educators, if you are looking for some additional materials, maybe you're creating a lesson plan, or maybe you want to see what the exhibit space is like, right? You can click here for those materials, and then we have a lesson plan, okay? Right over here, you just click on lesson plan, or if you wanted to relate your class visit to some specifics in the exhibit, right, you click on that, and then these are some of the exhibit items that we have here, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and move forward. We're going to try to book a class. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure I click on Book It, okay? And so here we are at step 1 out of 6, and then you can see the calendar. Make sure you notice here that anything in green represents availability, okay? Anything that's in yellow represents limited availability, okay? And anything that's in red means it's already booked, okay? One other thing I want to point out, not applicable. So this is hard to see because it's the same color as the web page itself, but anything that's in gray is not available. And you can see on Sundays the museum's closed, and then on Mondays the museum's closed. All right, so those 2 days are not available. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move forward by clicking on Next. And you can see we're on step 2, and then you can see it's populated the visit with Financial Markets 1, and then you can see the date here. Okay, so we only offer classes 2 times a day. That's at 10:30 and 1:30. So if you want to make sure you plan accordingly, I'm going to go ahead and click on Reserve, right? We're going to try the 10:30 one, so I click on Reserve. Okay, now here we are in step 3 out of 6. Okay, right, it still says your Financial Markets class, and then it says enter the number of people for this activity, okay? Now, keep in mind that this is a class, right? You can only have 1 class at a time, so it says 0. Instead of entering the number of students, make sure you hit 1 for 1 class, right? If I were to go ahead and hit 2, it wouldn't work. It would say the maximum is only 1 for this, okay? Excuse me. So next, make sure you review our reservation policies and visitation policies. Okay, and then once you've read all that, you can go ahead and you can click the Accept button. Okay, and then move on to the next step. All right, so here's the step where you would want to add in the information about your school. Alright, so put in your school name right here. You can put in your grade level here. So I'm going to go up, put 11th. and then choose the number of participants. Okay, let's say we're going to have 32 students. Okay, so now that all that's populated, you go ahead and you hit add to basket. Okay, and now you can see we've got one class here. It's financial markets. This is the date, and then this is the time that we want. So we want to go ahead and proceed to checkout. Okay, now this is the part where we would get to the billing information. So this is what it's going to look like when you first try to book a class. Okay, and you're going to notice all these things here in yellow are going to need to be filled out and populated by you. Okay, if you want to complete this booking. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to log into my account. All right, so you can kind of see what that's like. The good news is that once you've done this once, right, anytime you want to book any additional classes, you won't have to do this, right? You can just log in under your login name and all the information will be there. All right, so I've logged in under mine, and you can see it's populated, right? This is where you would put your first name, last name, your school address, and all the other corresponding information, set up your password. All right, and then once that's done, all right, you go ahead and you hit the next button. And then here we are at the billing information, right? This is the last step. And then you're going to go ahead and double check and make sure your confirmation details are all correct, and that you have the dates that you want, you have the class that you want, okay, and then your school name is correct. Now the last thing you do is you would enter your credit card information right here. So I'm just going to click on that and you see what that looks like. Okay, and this is where you would populate your credit card number, and then make sure you put in the expiration date here. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and cancel this. Okay, and so lastly, if for any reason you're in here and you want to change the date, or you want to just go ahead and change the time or whatever, if you want to just clear out your basket, all you need to do is log out. Okay, and then log back in. Okay, and you can see that my basket is empty. Okay, then what I would do is I would just go over to classes, and I would restart the booking process. Okay, so that is how to book a class on your own. Now the next part is requesting a lecturer for one of our other classes. Okay, and so we've got 10 other classes that are available that require a lecturer. Okay, and those classes are a little bit more expensive. Obviously we need to do a little bit more coordinating and get the lecturer in place. And so what you would want to do when we go to reach out to the lecturer, right, this is a little bit different process. So you have to click on request the class. Okay, and then once you've requested the class, you would fill out all your school information. Okay, put on the date that you would prefer to have, and then an alternative date, right? And then make sure you click on the program that you would like, okay, and then any other sort of additional detail that you'd like to add in there, okay, and then you would hit send. All right, now I'm not going to hit send because this goes straight to our reservations team, and we have a team of volunteers that work on our reservations, and they try to get back to you as quickly as possible, but obviously keep in mind they need to reach out to the lecturer and try to coordinate the date that fits with your date, and so that may take a couple of days back and forth in terms of email. So give us at least kind of 5 to maybe 10 days in order to get back to you, depending upon, right, whether there's going to be a holiday or it's the weekend or something else like that. Okay, so this is how you would then request that class, right? And then once you went through that class request process, our reservations team would go through the final process of booking your class for you and then sending you a confirm. Okay, all right, well, I hope you've enjoyed this video and that it's been informative for you, and we look forward to your visit here at the museum.